Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the National Indigenous Peoples Day, which was actually yesterday. We have a special guest today, Wurastoke Elder Chris Brooks from St. Mary's First Nation. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we are presenting today is the traditional unceded territory of the Métis, whose ancestors, along with the Mi'kmaq and Passamaquoddy people, first signed peace and friendship treaties with the British Crown in 1726. Also, we would like to acknowledge the financial support of the Government of Canada and Opportunities New Brunswick for this presentation. So now I'd like to invite Elder Chris Brooks to give us a presentation about diverse Indigenous cultures and heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Arku, for that beautiful introduction. Wuli Zabawil, Nita Beek, good morning, everyone. No Deliwis, Lopkahaza Jiknuks, JOL, Sagamo Mali Mali. So introduce myself in the Wolastoqey Ottawawagan, my mother tongue. So my traditional name translates Lopkahaza Jiknuks into spotted turtle. So that is my name, and my Christian name or birth name is Christopher Brooks. I like to consider myself a helper of people. So some people call me elder, some people call me this, some people call me that, but I like to be called a helper of people for myself anyway. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to be here today, and I want to thank everybody for their time, because time is something that we give freely, and the time is something that we can't get back. So we want to use our time wisely. So I welcome everybody here today to this beautiful day, and I hope everybody had a beautiful National Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday. It was June 21st, the summer solstice, which as we know is the longest day of the year. I want to thank everybody for again for coming here today and listening. In regards to some of the things I'm going to share with you today about Indigenous history, Indigenous culture, and some Indigenous ceremonies there too, sort of thing, right? So basically, in a nutshell, for the time that I'm here, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the history, and our friend has already talked about the peace and friendship treaties that were signed with the British Crown in the 1700s. Peace and friendship, that means a lot of many different things to a lot of different people, sort of thing, right? So in those treaties, it didn't talk about any surrender of land per se, but it talked about working together, collaboration, and being able to share the land, to share the resources, sort of thing, right? And so is everybody? Can everybody hear me loud and clear, or is it good? Does it sound good?
Yes, sound is very good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So getting back into the, I guess the history of this area. Excuse me, that those peace and friendship treaties were signed with 5 groups of Indigenous people on the East Coast, and especially in this area of the country, the East Coast of Canada. So there's 5 groups of people were the Wolastoqey, the Mi'kmaq, Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, and Abenaki. So these 5 groups of people developed what is called the Wabanaki Confederacy. So the Wabanaki Confederacy was in existence prior to European arrival to our homeland here, and our ancestors gathered and met to make decisions for the larger group of people. And in that confederacy was, again, collaboration, working together amongst the different groups of people on the East Coast, Indigenous people, prior to European contact. And that confederacy still exists today. So I'm gonna put a symbol up on the screen there on my hand. That is the symbol of our confederacy. So I get that tattoo just for myself to remember who I am, where I come from, and where I need to go, sort of thing, right? So it's a symbolic, and there's meaning in symbolism in regards to everything that we do and in our culture and our ceremonies, as many of you are probably aware of in your own cultures and your own belief systems. And that's what makes everything unique in regards to everything here on the East Coast for Indigenous people is pride, culture, and a lot of these things. At one point in Canadian history, these things were, taken over. They were tried to take away from us. In regards to residential schools, in regards to assimilation, in regards to colonization. And colonization had a profound effect not only in North America, but colonization of European countries and into other areas of the world has had a profound effect on other areas of the world too as well. As I want to acknowledge the different groups of people here today from all over the Mother Earth here. So it's a very important that, especially when you're coming to a new place, to get used to your surroundings. You might be away from your family, you might be away from your culture, things like that. But the greatest thing is that you have a place to go to, like the Multicultural Association, that they do to ease that gap with services and programs for many different people from all over the world. So I want to welcome you all to the traditional territory of my ancestors, the Wolastoqey people, aka the Malsi people. So it's a beautiful country, beautiful area, as you can see. And our history runs deep into the Wolastoq River, aka the St. John River. And that was historically, that was our main mode of transportation, getting from one place to the next.
Excuse me, Elder Chris. Could you please slow down and pause for 3 or 5 seconds for our interpreter translate your speech? Thank you so much.
I'm trying to slow down as best I can. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the river is a very important part of who we are as Indigenous people of this land. There is a current struggle with the government of today, the provincial government of today, try to get that river changed back to its original name or namesake, which is the Wolastoq. So obviously, you think about a river, you think about water. Water is an important symbol for all who are involved here today. In our belief system, water is sacred. Water is important, as we all know. So we want to just give a little bit of history here today, and I hope that everybody on the session here today is respectful and mindful of water. Because we all need that the gift of water to live, as we all know. And we all realize that the importance of working together into protecting certain things, especially the land, the water, of course, and creation as a whole. When I speak about creation, I talk about everything that's alive out there in the world. The trees are alive, yeah. The water is alive. The air, brings us life. The sun that shines every day. And it's a beautiful day out there today. And we want to embrace that in the best way we can as human beings. So with culture, when we talk about residential schools, and if you're not quite familiar with that concept, it's important to research yourself on that, about the history of Indigenous people and some of the things that we have faced, in Canadian history. And I'd like to use I'm going to use the word genocide. Some of you may be familiar with that word. Some of you may have experienced that in your history too as well, in the great countries that you come from. And that happened here, many years ago to Indigenous people. Especially young people who were taken away against their will, and placed in these schools. In these schools, it was the government's policy at the time to assimilate the Indigenous people into mainstream Canadian society. A lot of these young children that went to these schools never returned home. And you're going to see some things coming up in the future in September and the fall time. It's called Orange Shirt Day. So what that symbolizes is our National Day of reconciliation in regards to the atrocities that many of our ancestors have faced throughout Turtle Island, Canada especially. The colonization of the United States was, similar but yet different. So those orange shirts symbolizes history, symbolizes sadness, symbolizes connection and education moving forward. And this education is key, to understanding the past. So with that past comes today. With that past comes tomorrow. I take, for myself, I take great pride in, the things that I do, helping people. Culture, for myself, I always believe that respecting cultural diversity brings unity into people's lives. And I try to, experience other cultures as much as I can. And I believe I'm coming over there Saturday to be part of the exhibition of multiculturalism in this Greater Fredericton area on Saturday at the exhibition center. And I hope to see, I can't see your faces per se here today, but I hope that you come and say hi to me when I'm there on Saturday. And thinking about, intergenerational trauma for myself, it's in impacts of colonization and, the government's mandate, up to this point, professionally, I'm an addictions worker here in the community of St. Mary's, which is across the river on the north side of Fredericton. So I see a lot of sadness. I see a lot of sorrow. I see a lot of disconnect. And what I mean by disconnect, I see a lot of our people who are disconnected, from themselves in regards to culture, in regards to tradition, in regards to ceremonies. I take it upon myself to try to teach these things to as many people as I can. And I believe I accomplished that yesterday down in St. John, New Brunswick, National Indigenous Peoples Day. And to bring people together is something that I enjoy doing, especially when I'm sharing, with you about who I am, where I come from, and what I do. And understanding, from my perspective, some of the things that I've faced, that Indigenous people in this land have faced since the Europeans came here many years ago. And I'm not here to trigger anyone in regards to, I guess, your own personal experiences from the homelands that you travel from, your motherlands. The world is a different place out there, parts of the world. And, we want to work together with newcomers and work together and share each other's experiences, each other's beautiful cultures, which I find extremely fascinating for myself. And just, working together and sharing and talking, interacting in a positive way. So for myself, I do a lot of many things in regards to ceremonies. I'm what is called a sweat lodge conductor, a sacred pipe carrier. So the sweat lodge is something that is important in my life, because I can honestly say that my culture saved my life. I am a recovering alcoholic, been sober for 25 years, 26 years. I take great pride in that accomplishment up to this point in my life. And with this disconnection comes sadness, sorrow, mental health, and addictions. So I tried to do my best to try to re-educate our people and our communities here along the Holistic to help bring back a sense of belonging, a sense of connection, and most importantly, a sense of pride. Because I feel that with that disconnect, a lot of people face sadness and troubles in their life, negative experiences. So I try to do my best to try to reteach or relearn or re-educate anybody who wants to learn Indigenous ceremonies. And I know you have your own, some of you have your own ceremonies and traditions, belief system there too, and that's a beautiful thing. You may be away from your home, but you still can, in this new place, you still can practice your culture, speak your languages, and take pride in who you are as a human being from wherever you are in from the world. So some of the negative experiences that our people have faced have helped us to become resilient. And resiliency means that being able to overcome something negative in your life and work towards a positive. And that's what I try to do, that's what I guess I did for myself. That's what I tried to do to help with other people. So I hope, one day, hopefully on Saturday, I'll get to meet some of you who are on the call here today, and just be able to shake your hand and look you in the eye, I guess, and have a conversation with you. So we just had a traditional powwow in our community last weekend. So the powwow is a gathering of people. It's a chance for us as Indigenous people to share some of our culture with newcomers or anyone. So if that's something that you like to do, you can probably get someone to look up the 2023 powwow schedule for New Brunswick. I don't have it in front of me, but St. Mary's just had theirs last week, and the next two closest communities, Indigenous communities to Farton, is Kinsclair, also known as Billich community, which is up towards the Mactapac Dam, adjacent to the Mactapac Dam. And the other community is our Mukto community, Wollomuktok, which is downriver in our Mukto, which is 20 minutes drive from Fredericton. So I don't know exactly the dates when these gatherings are going to be taking place, but I'm sure somebody can find that out for. And if you want to go down just to observe or just to participate or just dance and have fun, by all means, make that time to be a part of that. And I'm sure some of you on Saturday with the event planned for Saturday, that you will be exhibiting some of your beautiful cultures from all over the world. Some great food, for myself, I like food and I like trying new things. And, from what I can gather on event agenda, that they plan a lot of beautiful things there for the Saturday. So I'm actually looking forward to it. So glad to be a part of it. So our history of this land dates back in what we refer to as time immemorial. Science has said that we have been here for at least 15,000 years, but our stories say different. Our stories say that we were, when the world was created and the people were created for this area of the world, that we've been here since the dawn of time. The history of our people as hunter-gatherer type of societies. We lived in harmony with the land. We lived in harmony with everything around us, in the environment. We looked after our children, we looked after our seniors, and most importantly, we looked after each other. So when the newcomers came here in the year of 1604, 1605, along the St. Croix, St. Stephen area, which is down towards the Canada-US border, that is where they say first contact happened between the newcomers to this area. And, you know, our lives have changed ever since. Because some of the things I just talked about, the colonization, assimilation processes, with those assimilation processes, you know, the people of the time, government of Canada, use laws, created laws, just to, I guess, keep us in check, keep us in line, to take things away from us, our pride, our dignity, our culture. So culture revitalization in this area is coming back. That pride is coming back. That sense of belonging is coming back. And that happiness, contentment is coming back. Because we were the first group of Indigenous people to have interaction with the Europeans, and as they came here, they spread across Canada, right from east to west. So the Mi'kmaq, Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, Abenaki, and Mi'kmaq, you know, continue to exist to this day. The Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, and Abenaki are more now down the east coast of the U.S. And I do have relationships, family connections to some communities in the east coast of the United States. Grandfather was Passamaquoddy. His home community is on the U.S. side of the border. You know, and looking back and reflecting on these things for me, sometimes, you know, I get triggered by it because father was an alcoholic. We passed that. His father's father was an alcoholic, and I'm sure his father's father's father were alcoholics. That that sadness and despair lingered in what we call the age of darkness for people. And that happened, you know, in the 17th and 18th century. Sadness and sorrow and despair. Because we were removed from certain places, from our traditional homeland. And eventually in the 1950s, the government decided, well, we're going to take these poor Indigenous people and place them on reserves. So we were sort of like free gatherers moving from one place to the next. So the government implemented the Indian Reserve System. The St. Mary's community is part of that system. We have a designated piece of land that extends from the Wolstick River, the base of the river, all the way up adjacent, going up towards the Nakawik, not the Nakawik, but she's a kind of a name river. It'll come to me while I'm talking here. But this is our plot of land here. In our community, we have a lot of businesses here, gas station, supermarket, entertainment center. We have a school here too, elementary school that promotes culture, teaches language, gets young people, you know, connected to these things at a very young age, which is a good thing. And the other two nearest communities that I talked about earlier, Wolamuktuk, which is downriver, down near Mukto area, and Village community, Kinsclair community, which is up the river, just right below the Mactapac Dam. So these three communities here are connected. Interactions in between the communities, which is another good thing. And there's 6 Wolastoqey communities scattered along the Wolastoq River, St. John River. The next community up is a Woodstock. The next one after that would be Tovik community, probably up around the Emmitston area, between Fredericton and Grand Falls. And the other community is the Emmitston community up in Emmitston. So these communities here make up the Wolastoqey Nation of communities, and it's our brothers and sisters from the Mi'kmaq territory. So the Wolastoqey or Malsi people inhabit the southwest part of the province along the St. John River water tributaries. And the other Mi'kmaq communities are northern part of the province. So I don't know right offhand how many of those communities are, but a lot of them are scattered too. There's a couple up around the Miramichi area that are close proximity to one another. Metamahagia, which would be Red Bank, Hill Ground, and Burnt Church, just on the other side of the Miramichi. There's a few others up in towards the Bathurst Way. And there's Elsie Booktook, Big Cove community down in towards Buxton area, just outside of Moncton. And there's another community called Fort Folly, which is close to Shediac, New Brunswick, and not Shediac, but Sackville, New Brunswick. So there's approximately, I think, 15 or 16 Indigenous communities that both Mi'kmaq and Malsi, Wolastoqey, that inhabit the province of New Brunswick. So, with that diverse cultures that we have and languages that we have here today with us here today, joining on this call, that we all have the opportunity to interact with one another. And I hope that for you, the newcomer that are here today, that you get an opportunity to share your experiences with another person. I will continue to share my experiences. Anybody who wants to learn. So summer's coming, so a lot of good things are happening here for the summer season. Hope that you get out and explore, some, I guess, the sites along the river, especially in the area. They is a unique area because it has a lot of multicultural things in the city. And I also want to talk about racism for a second there too, because it's out there, it's real, and if it does happen to you, you make sure you tell somebody about it. And I think moving forward, that people should be, held accountable for their belief system. Sometimes that's just me. That's just my opinion. But I like to challenge somebody their belief system sometimes, because I think it's helps educate, especially in mainstream society, other people have belief systems that be different from your own, like values, how we think and what we do. And the sadness of racism is out there. And all I can share about that is that if you experience it, in your journey or while you're here and when you're living here, feel free to, share that. I would call them allies, friends, and we need more of that. We need more friendships. We need more allies. And, it's a sad thing about human society sometimes is that I guess that differences of values and beliefs sometimes, but for the most part, we're one race, the human race, and we have to learn to live together in balance and harmony to the best of our. And it's just, for me, making things better for people of all races, of all belief systems. There's a lot of sadness in the world, and we know about the war in Ukraine. Hope that peace, can be worked towards, I guess, in relationships with people, especially countries. Because our Earth, the Mother Earth, our mother, our most sacred mother of all, is in sadness. We take a lot of things from the Earth, and we have to learn to start giving back to the Earth as much as we can. So I hope that our conversation here today has helped you. I don't have all the answers. We'll take some questions after their time. And how much time do I have left?
We have about 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes, okay.
Yeah, if you have,
okay,
if anybody have questions.
Is there any questions up to this point so far? Well, I mean, if you get a chance to think about a question later on, and I'll be around Saturday at the event on Saturday for a bit. So feel free and come on up and ask some questions. And I'm sure you have a lot of beautiful support people here that are helping you with the Multicultural Association. So they'll help you navigate certain things in regards to feeling comfortable in this new space that you're in. And I look forward to interacting with hopefully some of you in the future. And again, respecting cultural diversity brings unity, especially into my life anyway. So I always like to acknowledge that teaching of unity, because we have to sometimes work together and collaborate together to make things better for everyone.
Hey, thank you very much, Elder Brooks, for your time offering us this meaningful and educational presentation and sharing your stories today. Your lesson help us better understand the Indigenous cultures and heritage. And then we'll see you at the Culture Expressions Festival this Saturday. Elder Brooks will be offering a smudging ceremony on Saturday at the festival at 11 o'clock. So please join us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, and I hope to see you all on Saturday. Have a great day, everyone. Wiliwan, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.